Devils were rumored to be in the market for some depth scoring. That they were. And sometimes you just have to wait until after 3 p.m. on deadline day to get the whole picture. Welcome in to Devils Digest. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button for all things Devils. Devils rumored to be in for some third line scoring. That they were. Daniel Sprong to New Jersey. 2026 7th round pick back the other way. Look, I like this deal a lot for New Jersey. I look at Daniel Sprong. Bigger screen's better, right? Daniel Sprong coming over to New Jersey. Look, he's played most of this year in the AHL. He's played 10 games with Seattle this year. A goal and an assist. Not too much scoring there. But 2 seasons ago, pretty much back-to-back 20-goal seasons. Back-to-back 20-goal seasons, 7th round pick back the other way. You have an offense that is struggling to score. Taking a flyer, taking a little bit, really no risk on Daniel Sprong, back-to-back 20-goal scorer, I like that. The other thing I really like about Daniel Sprong is he fits the type of game that this team plays. Look, when this team's good and this team's scoring, they are phenomenal in their transition game. They are phenomenal in speed. Daniel Sprong adds both of those things. Daniel Sprong is faster than most of the players in our bottom 6. He's a scorer. He still has a little bit of upside with just a 7th round pick going back the other way. So for a 7th round pick and I can get a back-to-back 20-goal scorer, I'm all for that. I look at what the Devils have done so far today, and I know I said it's after 3 p.m. and not much has been done outside of the Cody Glass trade. This is a move where I can get around. I see more upside in this move than I did with Cody Glass. This guy came out and he scored 20 goals 2 different times, or is on pace. He scored 18 and 76, but has been on pace for 20 goals recently. Can fit a third line role. He's been a third line player on good NHL teams. So when I look at that, when I look at the history, he's been part of good teams on the third line. He's scored 20 goals. I like this one a lot more because when you go ahead and you look at the Devils lineup, there are definitely holes, as I mentioned in the last video. So I'm not going to, go ahead and beat a dead horse. But when I can put someone like Daniel Sprong in for Justin Dowling, I feel a lot better in my lineup. Justin Dowling has never been really a full-time NHLer, has never had anywhere close to 20 goals in a season. Probably shouldn't be playing there, especially that it's not even his natural position. If I can put someone like a Daniel Sprong there, I feel better. Maybe even move Andre Palat down the lineup. Put Daniel Sprong up in your second line. Daniel Sprong is someone who can work in a lot of places in this lineup. And we've seen New Jersey this season. I mean, you guys know it. How many different line combinations have the Devils had to throw out this year? Because it's been quite a few. So if you're going to do that and your lines are going to be different and you're going to have different combinations and you're going to have different players in the lineup in general, at least get someone who can be a fit and can work with the players you already have. Daniel Sprong has really good speed. This Devils team, when they're good, is one of the fastest teams in the NHL. If I can add an underrated speed player into my middle 6 and he can create at least some type of offense, I feel a lot better. Because there's a lot of players on this Devils team that have just not created enough offense. Whether it be what their contract says, what their role was supposed to be, how many minutes they play, there hasn't been enough offense on this team. So if I can take a chance with a 7th round pick on some upside with Daniel Sprong, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. That works with me. Getting a guy who's gotten 20 goals for a 7th round pick in 2026, there's no real risk here. The only risk is that you didn't go out and get somebody else because you felt that, this is enough. And that's totally in your control. You don't have to stop here at Daniel Sprong. Daniel Sprong is a nice piece with some upside who I think is going to fit in this lineup really well. I think Daniel Sprong's going to fit in really well with upside if you decide to not trade for anyone else. That's not Daniel Sprong's fault. There's no risk in bringing Daniel Sprong in. Everything else that would happen would be completely not connected to this Daniel Sprong trade. 7th round pick for a player who scored 20 goals. You need help on the wing. You need help scoring. You need help on the power play. Now with Jack Hughes out. Sorry, I didn't want to mention it, but when you bring in a player for just a 7th round pick who's not going to hurt your cap really at all, is a rental, this feels like a really good deal for New Jersey. There's no real risk here. And when there's little to no risk and it doesn't affect your cap, it's tough to find a way to figure out how this is a bad deal. Maybe not the greatest defensive forward in the world. That's not what this team needs right now. This team needs offense. I'm not worried if Daniel Sprong is not going to be a shutdown forward defensively. That does not worry me. I'm not really even thinking about that. What I'm thinking about is this team needs offense. This team needs goals. This team needs a little bit extra speed. This team needs another type of lineup combination that they can throw out there. They need to feel a little bit more comfortable with what they can combine in their lineup. Daniel Sprong adds more of that. He gives you more options. He looks a lot better than if you had a Justin Dowling in there playing wing, who's a natural center, who's never come close to 20 goals in this season. Putting a player who has hit the 20-goal mark, who has been a third liner on good teams, who will play his natural position, I feel a lot better with that. That feels like, okay, I'm a little bit more situated now. There's a little bit more comfortability here with Daniel Sprong in the lineup over Justin Dowling. Because I assume that's the player who probably comes out of the lineup. Whether Cody Glass gets in or not, I don't know yet. Obviously, they traded for him, so they probably want to use him in some type of way. But Daniel Sprong, will Daniel Sprong get in the lineup here for New Jersey? Yeah, I think he will, and I think he's actually going to be effective. With the type of game he plays, he's been on a bunch of teams. I mean, let's go back to that real quick. Going back to where he's played. He's played on quite a number of teams. But when you put him in the role that he's supposed to play, he can be effective. He was effective in Seattle. He was effective for a little bit in Pittsburgh. He played in Washington. Season got cut short. But he's able to be effective in a third-line role. He has third-line numbers when he's in the lineup. And if that's where you're going to play him, if you're New Jersey, 7th-round pick, you get your third liner, maybe you make another trade. Like I said, this one you had to wait until after 3 p.m. I think all in all, this is a good trade for New Jersey. I like it a lot. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you think Daniel Sprong fits into this lineup, because I think he's going to fit in just fine. All right, I'll see you guys.